Well, as a journalist, the answer to that would be read the newspaper, watch the TV news. A lot of people don't. You don't, at least not regularly.
Right.
How do I get there if I'm also spending a lot of my time not focusing on those, whatever the resources are, forget whether it's a newspaper or a TV, whatever the resources are to gain information, a lot of people aren't taking advantage of that. But they still have to make these decisions.
Right. No offense meant, but a lot of TV news or newspaper news, more so than TV news, seems about issues that are not pertinent to me. That, you know, okay, one time, let's say Michael Jackson passed on. I don't mind hearing it one time, and I don't mind listening to his his memorial service or something. I don't need to hear it for 1 month at a stretch, 24/7 about him. I mean, I really liked the way he sang, and I thought he was a gifted man. So you can't blame people for not buying into that. And so, so that also is the power to discern. I feel that if you look in the right places, in the right direction, that these things are available. Not necessarily you have to read everything in the newspaper and you have to see all the TV news. So whatever you need to make a decision about, that it is available, more so now than ever before.
Through the internet and through other means.
And through the internet and through other means, yes.
But you are recommending that I inform myself.
Yes, but not too much. I mean, actually the reason I went off, internet newspaper reading like New York Times and stuff, it is an admission on my part, but I felt I had to go to a 12-step program to get rid of it, because that's all I did, is look at the news. And so one New Year's, I thought, I'm not getting into this anymore. So it has to be moderated, because we could, and that's one of the things that happens, I feel, in the power to discern, is we become lawyers and find legal loopholes for our weaknesses.
What do you mean?
And so, for example, this almost addiction to internet newspaper reading, right? Every newspaper in the world is available. I could read newspapers in India, I could read newspapers here, spend all 5 hours a day doing that. And so I could always tell myself the legal loophole would be, I can become a lawyer for my own weakness and say, but I need to be informed. And so I'm going to spend 5 hours, so I could tell myself these things. And so to be completely cognizant of your own weaknesses is the first step, I feel, in the power to discern. Your own character, your own shortcomings. And so not to overindulge in anything. If you overindulge in anything, I think the first thing that happens is you lose the power to discern.
And that is to be able to tell when someone else is overindulging, or to be able to see the same flaws beyond yourself.
Right, right. If I'm honest with myself and if I'm clean about myself, then I don't really need to worry about other people, because it comes automatically. Because really the work is, I have to be honest and clean with my own self.
But there's something I have to think beyond either knowing the difference between right and wrong, or knowing the difference between truth and falsehood. Behind what you would call the illusion of pleasure that comes from a lot of things we engage in societally. People drink, people smoke, people gamble, people do a lot of things, overeat, that it doesn't take much to know. I don't need the power of discernment
Right.
to know that you shouldn't smoke. It's probably not a good idea to gamble, that there is a consequence to drinking and smoking. And yet, the pleasure that people associate with all of those things is a real thing, even if it is a fake pleasure, I guess, to contradict myself. They feel the pleasure.
No, I would call that a perishable pleasure, as an imperishable pleasure. And a perishable pleasure is that I'm taking support from perishable things, like drinking or smoking or whatever. And what happens is that there is a truth about life, about perishable things, is that you can never get sustainable happiness from perishable things. That you have to increase, you have to up your drinking, you have to up your smoking, you have to either give up your health, you have to give up all of these things to be able to continually keep getting pleasure. But that is the illusion of it. The reality of it is that you can actually get imperishable pleasure, which is even better than that perishable pleasure if you renounce those things and take up something, a spiritual, like a centering thing, or like a meditation, a spiritual path, that is even more pleasurable.
That's for someone who hit a jackpot in the casino, that's a hard case to make.
No, but you have to admit, and I'm sure everyone who's answering a hotline for gambling would tell you this, is that a lot more people, 99.99% of the people really lose their families, lose their lives because of gambling. And so the odds are that it's very, very far and few between that you're going to hit a jackpot.